I'm going to be talking about some things related to the Charlie Kirk tragedy that you're not hearing in the mainstream media, and that is the prophetic significance of this tragic event. What happened should be a wake-up call to all Christians that we are living in the last days, and Jesus is coming soon. But before I get into that, I'm sure that most of you already know that Charlie Kirk's life was senselessly taken on Wednesday afternoon while speaking at Utah Valley University by a crazed gunman named Tyler Robinson, who embraced left-wing ideology. And it has recently come out that Tyler Robinson had a partner who was trans, which may have had something to do with his motive, since Charlie Kirk regularly expressed anti-LGBTQ views, like this one.
You're lying to yourself and lying to other people that you could become something other than what you are born.
Charlie Kirk was an outspoken MAGA Republican, but at the same time, he was also an outspoken Christian. Watch what Charlie Kirk said about what he wanted to be remembered by if he were to die.
You want to be remembered.
I mean, if I die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith.
And that is what he will be remembered by. Little known fact, Charlie Kirk was also a Sabbath keeper. Watch this.
I'm going to challenge you guys on one thing, and Allie, I don't know if you know this. Last July, I was traveled all across the country last year. I was getting really stressed and just worn down, typical stuff that happens on the road. And a pastor friend of mine said, "Charlie, you got to take a Sabbath." And I was like, "Oh, we're not bound by that commandment, whatever." And he really convicted me. So every Friday night, I take a Jewish Sabbath, turn off my phone, Friday night to Saturday night. The world cannot reach me, and I get nothing from the world. It will bless you infinitely. Now, I'm not saying you're bound by the laws of Christian. I'm not saying that that's something you have to do. I'm saying it will make your life better. It was important enough that God put it as one of the 10 Commandments. And I will say, there's debate in some theological circles that we are bound to it because it predated the law. God rested after creation. So I want you to think about that. So Friday night to Saturday night, no one can reach me. And I wake up, I wake up on Saturday night, I open up my phone, 600 text messages, 900, whatever. But it is the best 24 to 25 hours. And if every young person took a legitimate Sabbath from Friday night to Saturday night, I guarantee you, anxiety would go down, depression would go down, you'd actually spend time with people you care about, meaningful conversations would happen. So I challenge you, if you incorporate that in your life, there's no negative.
I think he's right there for the most part. There are a couple of little things that he said there that can be cleared up. But I believe Christians should keep the Sabbath as well. And that's why I've been a Sabbath keeper for over 20 years myself. And I even heard that Charlie Kirk was in the process of writing a book about the Sabbath before his assassination. I hope it will still be published. I'd like to read it. But now you may be thinking to yourself, that's nice and all, but what does this have to do with Bible prophecy? I'm going to get into that now. I told you I was going to talk about it, so now it's time to deliver. The atmosphere of the times we are living in coincides perfectly with what the Bible says about the last days. For example, 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 tells us, "But know this, that in the last days, perilous times will come." Perilous means dangerous or full of risk. And doesn't that sound like the world we're living in right now? Stepping outside, going to school or work, even desiring to speak the truth, all of it carries the risk of violence. Charlie Kirk paid that price with his very life. Also, in speaking of signs of the end times, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24 verse 12, "And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold." When it talks about lawlessness here, this is not only about civil law. Ultimately, this is talking about rejecting God's law, the 10 Commandments. And we see that happening everywhere today. People are redefining right and wrong to fit their own desires. Violence and corruption are increasing. Even basic human kindness is fading away. And you can see this clearly in the reactions of some people to the Charlie Kirk tragedy.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Well, breaking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantafast's favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view?
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes.
Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
People are actually celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, which is deeply disturbing. Yes, he may have spoken out against their opinions and beliefs, but that's no reason for him to die. There are a lot of people I don't agree with. I may criticize their opinions and beliefs sometimes, and they may criticize mine, but I don't want them dead. We may argue online, but when I turn my computer off, I go on living my life. That's the difference. Also, Jesus warned in Luke chapter 21, verse 17, and you will be hated by all for my name's sake. Prophecy warns us that those who stand for truth will be hated and even killed. That's exactly what we're witnessing today. The spirit of lawlessness, the coldness of people's hearts, and the hatred toward those who hold to biblical convictions are all signs that we are living in the last days. But here's the good news. These prophecies don't just end in despair, they point us to hope because they remind us that Jesus is coming soon. After Charlie Kirk's death, his wife Erica Kirk gave a speech in which she said this:
"The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever.
What a contrast to the clips we saw earlier of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And she's right. Instead of silencing Charlie Kirk, this has only resulted in magnifying his voice. Everybody is talking about this, giving Charlie Kirk more publicity. And I've even read some YouTube comments where people have said that this tragedy has motivated them to put their faith in God and go back to church. And this reminds me of what early church father Tertullian wrote: "The blood of Christians is seed." Charlie died while standing boldly for his faith and convictions. In that sense, he became a kind of modern-day martyr. And just as in the early church, when persecution only made Christianity spread faster, this tragedy is stirring many people to seek God. But the question is, what about you? How has this tragedy affected your life? Do you recognize the times in which we live? And are you ready to take your stand for Christ, no matter the cost? The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2, "Now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation." None of us are promised tomorrow. Charlie didn't know his life would end so suddenly, and neither do we. That's why it's important to be right with God today. So I urge you, don't ignore what happened to Charlie Kirk and the end time signs around us. Make the choice right now to surrender your heart to Jesus. Keep his commandments and live faithfully until he comes again. Because Jesus is coming soon. And when he returns, the only question that will matter is, are you ready? If you want to learn more about the second coming of Jesus and how to prepare for it, click on the screen to watch my video entitled How to Prepare for the Second Coming of Christ. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.